to start this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of great millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations out there to the elect. Okay, I want to do this lesson by starting the video. I'm going to let it play for a few, and then I'm going to get some scriptures. All right, as you can see, it says 17-year-old charged with unaliving his mother and brother. It says in action appears in court. So let's play the video.
As we speak. And he was in court yesterday as well, just to face charges involving the theft of that car. But again, today going to be tried as an adult in the 2 counts of murder he faces and his family member's death. Let's listen in.
It is alleged that in the town of Acton on August 11, 2026, he did commit counts 1 and 2, murder, count 3, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, count 4, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, count 5 and 6, assault and battery.
Mr. Arabin, a plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf. You qualify for the appointment of counsel. Attorney DeWitt has been appointed to represent you. Does the Commonwealth have any requests today?
Yes, Your Honor. Several things. The first is the Commonwealth is asking the defendant to go without bail on the murder charges. I'm going to give just a very brief overview of that report. On August 11th, approximately 6:30 in the afternoon, the individual placed a call to the applicant.
And you see, this is wrong judgment proceeding forth. You see, because the scriptures say that whosoever shedded man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. And there's a law that was given to us Israelites, you know, the righteous judges in the earth before we went off, the holy people before we went off, you know, that says what you should do with a stubborn and rebellious child. As a matter of fact, let's get that. This is the book of Deuteronomy. This is Deuteronomy, let's see, 21. As you can see, it says expiation of a crime. Let's look up that word expiation. Expiation, it says, is the act of making amends or atoning for a wrong, a sin, or a crime. It involves wiping away guilt and paying a penalty to fix a mistake, you see. And the scripture says that whosoever shedded man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. And let's read what it says about this expiation of a crime in Deuteronomy. It says, let's see. This is Deuteronomy 21. Let's read. Let's see. 21, a rebellious child. That's what I'm looking for. I thought I pulled it up, Salakia. That's strange. Let's see. Salakia, bear with me. Let's see. Rebellious child. Bear with me. Salakia. I may have to search it. Salakia, bear with me. Let's see. Rebel. Yes, child. KJV. All right, Deuteronomy 21:18. All right, Deuteronomy 21:18. Salakia. 21. Let's read it. 18. All right, it says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when he have chastising him will not hearken unto him, then shall the father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gates of the place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, our son is stubborn and rebellious, and he will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunk, and all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shall thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and shall fear. You see? So this child, this is obviously a stubborn and rebellious child. That's why he unalived his mother, you see. So he should have been unalived himself. But wrong judgment proceeded forth when the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Let's get that in Job 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, the true judges, the righteous judges. It says, if not, where and who is he? You see? And the wicked are you so-called white people, you Edomites. The earth is given into your hands. That's why you would rather have a prolonged trial for a murderer, especially a rebellious child, and give them, life. You would rather give him life in prison instead of putting him to death, which would be a righteous judgment. You see?
Officers responded. They found the garage door open. They found the interior of the garage door open. They made entry to the well-being check. Immediately inside the house, they found the body of an apparently deceased child, determined to be a 14-year-old male child. They then found, close nearby, a body of a deceased female who was determined to be the mother of that residence. They cleared the scene. What they cleared to see in the scene were obvious signs of a visible and violent struggle. They found a significant amount of evidence pertaining to that. They did not find the defendant. They did not find the mother's vehicle, and there was a few other items that were removed from the scene. They conducted an extensive search. They finally tried to piece the timeline together of the day of before and after the murder. They ultimately found some concerning internet behavior of this particular defendant before the murder that was relevant to the murder. They also, during the course of the timeline of the afternoon, found different places that this defendant went and different things that he bought. He was ultimately found in the stolen motor vehicle at about 3:40 in the morning. That following morning, he was placed under arrest without incident. A number of items were found in that car that correspond back to the murder scene. The two victims, the autopsies were started yesterday. The manner of death is going to be homicide for both of them. The cause of death is still pending at this time as there's still investigation that's being done by the medical examiner's office. So at this time, based on the evidence that was found at the scene, it was apparent that blunt force trauma was used in some fashion on both individuals. So the Commonwealth has charged both with the murder as well as the assault battery, dangerous weapon, as well as the 2 counts of assault battery. Because of the circumstances of this case, of both before the murder, the obvious circumstances of the murder, as well as after the murder, the Commonwealth found this defendant being detained for that.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Clearly, this is an unimaginable, horrible situation. And I know there's a lot of information we need to go through. The Commonwealth is in the process of providing us with a lot of discovery. At this point in time, we're agreeing to a client being held without bail, without prejudice.
The Commonwealth's
Being held without bail. You see? So they're just going to hold him instead of doing what needs to be done and giving him the same judgment that he gave to those people that he unalive, you see, which will be righteous, a righteous judgment that will go forth. They'd rather keep him in jail. And that's what happens when the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Wrong judgment proceeded forth. Let's get another scripture. This is the book of Habakkuk. It says, Chaldees used to punish Judah, which Judah represents you so-called blacks. You see? And the Lord is going to use the Chaldees to punish you again, the wicked of you Israelites. All right, let's see. This is Habakkuk 1. Let's get to the point. Verse 4, it says, therefore the law is slack, and judgment do it never go forth. You see? And judgment didn't go forth in this situation. It says, for the wicked do it compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded, not right judgment, but wrong judgment proceeded. You see? So this is wrong judgment. He should have been put down, because that's evil what he did, and that evil should have been put out the land. But wrong judgment proceeded forth. So this is what you get. He gets to stay in jail without bond, to wait for a trial date, and they may give him life in prison. See, wrong judgment.
Motion for pretrial detention pursuant to 27658A is allowed. And I also have, I'm just going to take each motion in turn that I have received. I have the Commonwealth's motion to impound or redact, and that is, I will hear you on that.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commonwealth is just moving to impound and or redact the names of the victims in this case, or anything that would be leading to their names. The Commonwealth will assist in the redaction of public funds.
That motion is presented to your proceeding. That's allowed. I also have a motion to preserve evidence and objection.
But anyway, I'm not going to play the whole video because this is just a trial. But as you can see, they gave him, they allowed him to stay in jail without bond. And they're going to probably just, once he's convicted, they're going to probably get him life in jail, you see, which is wrong judgment. He should be put down also. But as you can see, wrong judgment proceeded forth from these rulers. So I'll end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rekakwadash. Shalom.